Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Profit in Your PJs. I'm Anna Camp. It is a gorgeous morning here in Southern California, and I know a lot of you are tuning in from all over. We have people from all over the US, multiple countries, and we are recording. We record this every single week. You can find it on my YouTube channel. Definitely share it with your friends, share it with your team. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just Anna Camp, my name, easy to find. Once you do that, you will get notifications anytime we put up a new video. So welcome everybody. I'm so glad to see all your smiling faces. We had such a great visit before before I began recording and before I turned on the camera here. But wow, what so fun to see everybody and watch everybody building these great relationships that really will help you. So we're on our way into Nashville. That is our national conference. And we have a lot to go over this morning. Got a great training as well. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So every Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. on the West Coast, and of course in your time zone near you. A couple of quick announcements. Our URLs are not being redirected after the end of this month. So very important to know that your URL will be .neora.com, not .nerium, that's a mouthful, .com. And the same with any internal emails that you use for corporate, for example, support@neora.com. It will not work if you put in Nerium after the end of this month. But more important than all of it, I think, is making sure our customers know what their websites are, and for us and for them to direct them anytime they're referring the products to one of their friends to make sure that they can find their website or their friend can find their website so they can get the perks and the discounts that they get for those referrals. So really important, make sure that you notify everyone. It's not enough just to send an email. Please pick up the phone and call. Make sure you change your database as well. I don't think we can communicate this enough. So there you go. We have a couple of webinars. Today, actually this evening, Sue Kim will be doing the overview webinar for the US. And it will, for Canada, I'm sorry, this was the second one, go back for that. The webinar. So this is a great way to get people informed, to deliver the information so that you don't have to. We know that third party is the way here. And actually, we're going to be talking a little bit about that on the training portion of this call. But Sue Kim is amazing. She's a great presenter. She's had awesome success. She's built all over the globe. And she's definitely one to get your prospects on this afternoon. So neoralaunch.com. And just a word from the wise. It's one thing to have your friend ask them to tune in, but it's even better if you can be with them. So whether you go to their house or you meet them for coffee, whatever it is, you have a lot more control over it. And you're also seeing exactly what they're seeing on the webinar. You can ask questions afterwards. So it's a much more effective way. Wendy Hatton, she's amazing. She has built an incredible business, and she will be doing the US overview tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So these are great things to plug your prospects into. Incidentally, because we are just only 2 weeks away, a little more than 2 weeks away from our national conference, many of us are going to that conference. We will be out of the field for several days. So this is the time to really ramp up your activity. So you want to be doubling your activity. We talked a little bit about this last week, but so important because you want to go into that conference really ready to go and really feeling like you accomplished a lot prior to, so that you can be really focused when you get there. April Accelerator, talking about things that are happening for us. This has never been done before. So our April Accelerator is the ability to earn double points for the trip, double trip volume for the month of April. They've never done this before, where they've announced it ahead of time. They've actually announced the trip at the conference, but they've never, and then they've said, well, we're going to make this retroactive a couple weeks earlier. We're going to make it retroactive for the beginning of the month. Sometimes they've never done that at all, But this time they actually told us in advance, we're going to give you a head start. We're going to give you double trip volume. This is the time to run, guys. And that will really help you ramp up your business prior to going. So this is a big deal. You can look at the frequently asked questions, the FAQs in the back office, but this is enrolling a brand partner, double trip volume, enrolling a preferred customer or a retail customer, double trip volume for that. And also anytime you take a customer and upgrade them to a brand partner. So more on that in the back office. We are, speaking of Nashville, we are still in the middle of this contest, so you can still earn tickets toward the promotion, the dinner that we're having in Nashville. So Steve Lee and I are putting on a big dinner. We're picking 50 people. So the more tickets you have in the drawing, the more chances you get. So this is only brand partners and preferred customers. Last month, preferred customers, you had to get 3 to get 1 ticket. This month, every new preferred customer you get is 1 ticket in the drawing. Every brand partner, 3 tickets in the drawing. But more than that, double points for trip volume. So you guys, this is a double whammy, and it is going to be an incredible dinner. It will be at the Gaylord. For those of you that have been asking, it will be Thursday evening, and we'll be announcing the winner. By the way, the contest goes, I have to look up my dates. The contest is going until the 18th. That's 1 week before the conference. I will be posting the winners on Destination Nashville for the 50 winners. I'll be posting that on Saturday the 20th. So you will know Saturday who is being actually invited. And at that dinner, we're picking 3 cash winners. So everybody in the drawing, national marketing directors also have to have tickets to be able to come to that event. But national marketing directors will be excluded from the cash drawing. So the cash drawing will be for everybody else. $1,000 grand prize winner, cash on the spot, 500 cash and 200 cash. So 3 cash prize winners will be picked at that dinner. So I know that's a lot, but I just want to make sure everybody is running for this. And big, huge thank you to all of your upline NMDs and your upline leaders, because they have gotten me all of your names in the drawings. And I know it was a lot of work last month, especially with RRPs being included. So a little easier this month to track those. But those of you NMDs, I have to have those numbers on the 18th, drop dead. If I don't have them by the end of the 18th, though, anyone who is in that drawing will not be in there, because I got to have time to pick the winners. It's a lot of work, but worth it. I want to bring attention to these 2 flyers. They are in your back office. And we were all talking about this prior to starting this Zoom. We had a couple of questions about age IQ and how some people think that tightening effect is a drying effect. Some people have a little bit of dryness after using the product, maybe the next morning. And we're really talking about why that happens and how to talk to your customers and your brand partners about that. So whenever I'm sampling Age IQ night cream, or when somebody purchases it, I always make sure and either give them this flyer for the moisturization tips, or send it to them via text. And you can download it right from your back office. I personally just took a screenshot of it and I saved it in a particular file in my photos. So it was just easier to send that way. I didn't have to go look for it all the time. So these are 2 great flyers. So the moisturization tips talks about how different options that you can use. It talks about the ingredients in the product that make it extraordinary. And then it talks about how they will have a mask-like effect. So that mask-like effect is important because what it does is it's sealing in the moisture. Many people don't realize that we lose about a cup of water at night while we're sleeping. And so this helps both through your skin and your breath, by the way. And this really helps seal in the moisture, sealing in the nutrients that we have with the night cream. It also has a reduction in friction on the pillow because of that mask-like effect. So Many women are sleeping on their back because they don't want to squish their face and cause more wrinkles while they're sleeping. Well, this helps with that because it reduces the friction. But this also gives, you know, some ideas. So they could add a Luma Boost to it. They could add a little water to it. They could add a little bit of day cream on the top if they don't like the way that feels. And then the next morning, anyone that might experience that their skin feels dry, many times that's because our skin is turning over, there's cellular renewal, and that dry skin or that feel that they have, that's just our body sloughing off and getting rid of the dry skin that we don't need, or the old skin that we don't need, so that our skin can renew itself. And so a tip for that might be that you might want to use a light exfoliator just to remove that dry skin, and then lots of our yummy, really moisturizing day cream during the day. So we were talking about that before. I thought I'd throw this slide in there so you guys would see it. Also, Open Your Eyes to Flawless Skin. This is a flyer on our eye serum. So how many of you have ever had somebody use the eye serum and they'll say, oh, it's powdery and funky later in the day? Well, there's some different options on how to use it. Some people will use an under eye concealer. And so that under eye concealer, sometimes they put on top, and it kind of rubs that great illusion that we get, the temporary benefit, the all-day benefit that we get for masking those wrinkles. And so this flyer will give them 3 different ways. If they don't use any makeup, how to use it. If they use a light makeup or light under eye concealer, how to use it. Heavier makeup, it suggests that maybe you mix it. So these are really important flyers to go over, and it really cuts down any issues that people have that are really not issues at all if we remember to be proactive and give them the tips on how to use these 2 products. So I hope that helps. We also, you guys know, have great videos. So you can also text them a video from your Go Prospect and show them how to use the products as well. But these are musts, and definitely download these from the back office and you'll have them right there at your fingertips. I wanted to go over that. This is a really important process of our business. It's mastering the 2-a-day system. Mastering the 2-a-day system is one of our 10 core commitments. And those 10 core commitments, I always say, if you live within the box of those 10 core commitments, you can actually live outside of the box really for the rest of your life, because those 10 things that we do make all the difference, and compounded daily create an incredible business. But remember, every single one of us are entrepreneurs, every single one of us. And if you are not subscribed, by the way, or if you haven't liked the Team Neora page, go there and like that page. Scroll down and watch Leslie Hawker's amazing tip. I think it was put up there yesterday on how to become an entrepreneur in your business. What is the most important thing to have for yourself? And she does a great job. It's a very short video, but very, very powerful. So mastering the 2-a-day system is really just that. And this, we call it the wheel. Those of us that have been in the business for a while, that wheel is really what we do every day. We pique interest, right? We want to get really good at piquing somebody's interest, because wouldn't you agree that it's much better if you have somebody asking you about what you do or asking you about the products than if you're chasing them down trying to sell them. So if you get really good at this one thing, piquing interest, the rest falls into place, because our third-party tools do the work. Our third-party tools tell exactly what the products do, right? The before and after pictures. They tell somebody, they show somebody what the products do. Our videos, right? They always deliver the right information. They're just perfectly long enough. Everything that you need, you can do with third party, including 3-way calls and 3-way Zooms. So using third-party tools is the next step, right? Piquing someone's interest, not throwing up all the information by trying to tell them and sell them, but giving them something that's not you talking. The next step to that is the follow-up, right? You're going to go back and follow up on the information you gave them. What did you like best about what you saw? What did you like best about what you felt if they're trying a sample? What did you like best about what you heard? Maybe they heard something audio. Maybe it was a video, saw, right? Saw before and after pictures. What did you like best? Asking them those questions. Were you more interested in the product, or were you more interested in the business, or maybe both? Asking some of those very important questions in the follow-up. So once you give somebody a third-party tool, you have to set the follow-up. You have to say, for example, here's a sample. I'm going to follow up with you in the next 48 hours. You can use that tonight, right? You're going to try it tonight, right? Putting into their head, to try it now so that you can follow up. But setting the follow-up is key, and then the actual follow-up. We know these things, but sometimes we forget that there's a process, right? Setting the follow-up, following up, and from this point in the wheel, we have the check mark on sponsor. But we also know that when you follow up, other things happen that need to happen here, which might be getting someone else on the phone, getting someone else in front of your prospect. And I think this is another piece that sometimes we miss, because when you're doing this process with somebody, one of the most important things that I want to get across here today is that you're teaching that person how to do the business, right? You're teaching them right, or you're teaching them wrong. So I want to say to you guys, get someone else involved as much as you can, as often as you can. Get in the habit of doing that, because what you're doing is you're teaching them that, gosh, for example, Debbie Joe doesn't need to know all the information. She got someone else on the phone. Wow, I could do this. You're teaching someone else how to pique interest. You're teaching someone else to use before and after pictures. And you're also telling them, wow, this is simple. I could do this. I could show pictures to somebody. So very important to master the 2-a-day system. And I want to bring somebody on here that I have watched in this process become very, very proficient at it. This is somebody that has really built a big business here and really done well. Hold on, let me just unshare my screen and go back so we get into speaker view here. This is somebody that's gone out, and I've really watched her master this. And as we worked together yesterday, I really went over a review of, okay, so what did you do there prior to? And so I want to bring on Jill Hauk. She's an amazing, amazing person. She has become a dear, dear friend. And I am not kidding you when I tell you she is really, really good at this process. So Jill, are you there? Can you unmute?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yay. Well, you look just exactly like you're sitting in the same place that you were yesterday when we did a Zoom together.
I am.
I love it. Well, I got a message from Jill yesterday, and she asked me to do a 3-way Zoom with her. And when she asked me that, we scheduled the time to do it. And then she sent me the text message that she got from a woman that she's been working with. So before I go in and give too much detail here, Jill, could you give us just from the very beginning, like, who is this prospect? How do you know her? How did you get this process started? Like, maybe how long ago this started, and the process that, just to kind of lay some groundwork for us.
Okay. This person is somebody, first and foremost, that I have not spoken to in probably 23 years. She was my assistant when I was in the real estate business, and we worked together for probably 2 or 3 years. She moved on, I moved on, and I randomly put her name into Facebook probably about 6 months ago. So I sent her a friend request, and we just kind of watched each other for a couple of months. And then I reached out by message and just reconnected with her. Where are you? How are you? We kind of did how many kids do you have? What are you doing now? And then just kind of went silent a little bit. But she was always kind of a target just because I knew she was bright. I knew she was smart. And I knew that this would be something that could work for her, but I did not feel that comfortable just throwing it out there. So what ended up happening was, I think it was Valentine's Day, I posted the jar of the candy hearts and said, whoever guesses the closest number, gets a free set of eye patches. And she responded. So of course she won. So I sent her the eye patches and she absolutely loved them. And her questions to me were, she's very much a green personality, which is super analytical. She's a science nerd. So she wanted to know what was in those and how did they work and, that kind of thing. So I sent her a video, sent her the ingredient list, and followed up after that. And I still never said anything about, joining the business. It was more her coming back to me, asking more questions about other products and us just kind of going back and forth very casually, but she was always in my calendar to follow up, but I would let her sit and look at the information a little bit. And I think it was yesterday, I had sent her the Last Run Club. I thought that she would be somebody that would really value that interview format between Bo and Jeff. And she really enjoyed that. I think she watched the entire thing. And then she sent me a novel via Facebook Messenger. So I don't know if you want me to read that text.
Yeah, I actually do want you to read the text, but I'm going to stop there because I want to highlight a couple of things, and I hope you guys are hearing this, that Jill put somebody on her list that most of us would say, oh gosh, I haven't talked to her in 20 years. That would be awkward. So when we talk about building a list, we talk about everyone. And if someone pops in your head, write them down. You may not feel comfortable or may not know how to approach them, but that's what your upline's for, or that's what your crossline or your friends are for in Neora, to call and brainstorm and say, hey, what would you do with this person? It's been 20 years, right? And so Jill was really, somebody popped in her head. She put them on the list. She looked for them on Facebook. She was intentional about doing something with the person that popped in her head. And then I loved that. And Jill, you're a master at coming up with ideas for social media. The candy hearts, whoever chooses, right? Whoever guesses the number. But did you guys hear where Jill said, well, of course she won because she was a prospect, and that was an effective way for her to win, or for Jill to get her a sample. How many of us sometimes feel awkward about, hey, well, I'd love to have you. We try to pique the interest enough where the person starts to ask us, more questions. And then we say, hey, do you want a sample? Well, look at what a kind of a fun way this was for Jill to have her just win the sample, right? So it also showed Jill that Andrea's her name was still watching, right? Look at that. She's still watching. She's guessing. And you guys, people are watching you all the time. It's just a matter of which thing are they going to comment on. But I promise you, they're watching. And then now the product's doing the work. The product is the third-party tool. And then when she wanted more information, Jill is really good, you guys. She could pick up the phone and she could explain the whole thing, and the eye patches and the hydrogel and the patented product. And this is great technology. It's actually made in, the patches are made in Korea because they're the best at this. I mean, Jill could have just gone on and blah, 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 and let's get you some, and tried to close the sale. But do you see the sort of cat and mouse that goes on when you get really seasoned and when you get really good at this? So the next step, right, was, because Jill knows she's a very analytical type, Jill sent the video. She saw that she watched the video. She sent additional information, right? And so it's third-party tool, follow up, answer the question. Now, is the Last Run Club for everyone? Not necessarily, but this is why you know your prospect, and you know your prospect by asking questions and listening to the way they respond, or maybe the information they want. So I wanted to interject that. So this kind of cat and mouse, I call it, went on for months. And then it got then the responses from each other, the question, answer, those became more closer together, right, Jill?
Yeah.
So that became closer together. So the interest became stronger. And then I loved the text you sent me because it was like a novel. It was her last reply after seeing the videos, seeing the pictures, using the product, watching all of the Last Run Club, and having a lot of information at this point. Read the message that she sent you yesterday or the day before.
Okay, she sent this yesterday morning. She said, I'm very convinced by the sourcing, science, and research behind each product with your company. I've seen some testimonials that would have me believe that these have a medical, aesthetic quality and efficacy to them, and will try out the skincare line. I'm very interested in the treatment products more so than daily maintenance, but we'll look into them and give them a try. If I like the results better than what I'm currently doing, I'll definitely let you know. That said, I have been in several MLMs over the last 32 years. I started with Arbonne when I was 18. I was there 29 years. I love their products and give a lot of credit to the condition of my skin to using their products for over 20 years. I never bought into the top-down marketing and team building, even though I have a lot of friends that have followed me from one product to another. It seemed like a lot of effort for such a small percentage of the profit margins. Also, following the commission payout was extremely complicated to track on purpose while trying to build my business. So couple the compensation hurdle with the constant reformulations where the quality and sourcing of the ingredients was reduced, reducing the volume in the bottles, though the bottles seemed to look larger, and increasing the cost by 15 to 20% with each new packaging campaign, less product, higher prices. I lost interest in the cosmetics industry's greed and just started making my own body and facial products. But I recognize that I need treatment options that my kitchen can't provide to combat some of the sun damage and aging that is starting to become more apparent lately. All of that to ask you about the business and compensation model. I think I've reached a point in my recruiting business where I recognize that I can't sit at a computer anymore. It's literally killing me, or at the very least making my physical life very uncomfortable. So I need to really start looking at additional revenue streams that I can do anywhere, like recruiting, but won't leave me glued to my desk.
Okay, so.
So from I think I'd like to try your products to I'm interested in your business and your compensation plans. So can I just want to say what I said, because this was, at this point, I've still never spoken to her live. It has been strictly just text messages and messages on Facebook. So I edified her. I totally get all of that. Most of what you said is why I never joined a network marketing company. I didn't want a garage full of stuff, constantly changing comp plans to the benefit of the company and products getting knocked off with no barrier of entry, among other things. I can say with no hesitation, Neora is not anything like that. Our founder's mission was to create the perfect company that didn't have any of that negative stigma. I think we're at a point where we should have a live conversation. I'd like you also to meet my business partner. She just happens to be the number 2 person in the entire company, which is awesome for us. I'm sure you've heard of Zoom. We use it a ton in our business. Can you hop in and chat later today? 4 or 5 o'clock? ? She responded with, I would love to chat with both of you, and I'm very familiar with Zoom. She picked 4 o'clock.
Awesome. So edifying her for all that research she did, awesome. And then ending that text in a question. What time? Not do you or don't you, what time? So that's another very effective way to stay in control of the process, right? Ending in a question. Listen, if that wasn't going to work for her yesterday, then it would. And then, of course, we got on a call after that. You guys, most people don't, as you know, tell you all that information about how to close them. But in reading that text from Jill, half of me went, oh my gosh, this is a novel. I don't want to read the whole thing. And the other half of me went, oh my gosh, as I read it, that she told me everything that we needed to close her. And she really was pretty ready. And Jill could have picked up the phone and just said, okay, let's have a conversation, and tried to close her on her own. And chances are she might have been able to, because Jill's really good, but she didn't. She asked for help and got herself out of the way again. So she has taught this prospect perfectly how to do the business. So we had a Zoom yesterday. How'd that go, Jill?
It was a little bit lengthy. It was fun. We chatted. Anna asked her questions about herself. I gathered that she likes to talk about herself, but she is very smart, very intentional, has to believe in the products. And she mentioned a couple of times, again, about maybe sampling or this or that. And Anna just shared her screen, pulled up the different starter packs and explained to her that, as a true sample pack really only has a day or two worth of product. Mentioned that the starter kit is great for, customers that want to try one of everything. And bottom line, she enrolled as a brand partner at the end of the conversation.
Yeah, it was a really textbook Zoom as well. And it really, I wanted to highlight this today because I think sometimes we really forget to get someone involved. And I think sometimes you think I'm too busy, and sometimes you think your upline is too busy, and sometimes you think that somebody that's really good, that's maybe not in your upline or on your team at all, that you would love to have help you, is too busy. But we're not. And it's just a reminder again of how effective it is to get, well, gosh, a Zoom three-way is the number one best three-way, of course, but a phone three-way also is very effective as well. But it was a great call. It was a lengthy call because she had a lot of questions, but it was great for Jill that she could just get out of the way and just listen in. And I was able to ask Jill and a question or two and have her be involved as well. But Jill was excellent at just being quiet, just muting her line, just the same way we do when we do a three-way call, but on a three-way Zoom. And it was textbook, and it was just a reminder again of how effective those things are. But Jill, congratulations. I think she's going to be amazing. Very interesting, you guys, too. It wasn't until she texted Jill that very long text that Jill even knew she'd ever done network marketing. Who knew? Like, Jill didn't go after somebody she knew 20 years ago because she thought, oh, she's in network marketing. But that's another thing. You never know when somebody that you're prospecting has a background in this, a good one or a bad one, right? And so she was. It was an awesome call, and I just appreciate you asking me to get on there with you because it's fun. It's actually probably one of the most fun things that I get to do in this business. I absolutely love them. So, Jill, amazing work. Thank you so much for sharing the story and helping people through the training part of it. I hope you guys got a lot from this today. I'm going to put us back in group mode so we can all see each other. I just want to tell you guys one last thing that I want to share with you, and this was something that I got from Jill Chisholm. I was on a Zoom that she was doing with her team. I absolutely love this. As soon as I find it, I'm going to pull it up for you and read it to you because I loved it. One of the biggest things that we have to have in this business is belief. We say it all the time, and it is the pillar, the cornerstone of your entire business. Because when you believe wholeheartedly in what you do, you're transmitting that to other people. They feel safe. They want to join you. And it is such a big, big deal. The best place to get that belief is at this conference. The best place, I'm going to say it again, is at our conference in Nashville. So if you are not going to Nashville, please reach out, let us help you. We are literally 2 weeks away, and we are on fire. What we're going to learn there, a whole social media crew they've invited to come in, do training on social media, do training on the new products. The scientists will be there. The top income earners will be there. Everybody will be there. If this is something that you really want, you've got to be in Nashville. Get every single person on your team to be there, because coming out of there, it will instill in you a belief that is absolutely unstoppable. And so I want to just read this to you as soon as I get my phone back up here. The strongest factor for success is self-esteem. believing you can do it, believing you deserve it, and believing you will get it. So I want you guys to go out there today, get it, believe in yourself, and use us. Use your upline, crossline, sideline, anybody that you can to get on with your prospects, and let's watch the magic happen. I will see you guys next week on Profit in Your PJs. Same time, same channel. Bye, you guys. Have a great day.
Bye, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Jill.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you.